definition of a student who is termed as high achiever. Can you hear me? William? Fine. So the first slide, we are going to have a definition of a student who is termed as a high achiever. So the definition has been picked from a student service policy 2020. And it states that a student who is a high achiever performs well or shows potential in performing in as far as or at higher levels of accomplishment when compared to other learners of their age. So I've given an example there for us to look at. So for instance, if we take a case of a student who is in grade 8, and this student constantly attains grade 7 constantly in certain subject based on the criteria of assessment. So from this definition, I have picked a selected example that there's a consistency in 7 in as far as a student is concerned who is also classified as a high achiever. So based on this definition and on this case of the student, it is an opener for us to look at who is an high achiever student. And for our next slide, I'll want us to take some few minutes to look at the slide and we'll try to discuss together, because we have the teacher and we have the learner. So just take some few minutes to read and try to analyze the two scenarios. So I want us to see how best we can analyze that, and then let's have some few comments. So the teacher is asking the student, how many apples would be left if you brought 12 and then ate 2 of them? While on the other aspect, or other spectrum, the student is wondering if the Mars spacecraft and spacecraft crashed because of so and so and so. So let's have some few comments regarding the cartoon. So where can we classify such kind of a learner? Definitely, we are talking of a high achiever. So if we look at the presentation of these two scenarios, where the teacher is asking about how many apples are left when you take 2, and here is a learner who is saying, I'm thinking of the Mars spacecraft, and also how the engineers forgot about converting the accelerators and so forth. So we find out that this learner here is thinking abstractly. In other words, at the back of the brain is saying that the teacher is wasting my time in asking me these simple questions. And that now justifies the first slide on the definition that a student performs or shows the potential for performing at high levels. Because if we go further than this slide and look at what depicts a learner who is termed as a high achiever. So okay, fine. Diego has affirmative, which is well. Angelic boredom with a topic or question. Sometimes looks they cannot do something from the teacher's perspective. So you have 2 comments there. And so if it can take us further and look at what can we depict from students who are high achievers, because you'll find them in class. Some books are calling them gifted and talented, but now we have trends in special educational needs where we term them as learners who are high achievers. So some of their basic characteristics that we have identified will include problem-solving skills. This is a learner that will be given a task to solve, and you definitely work or definitely try to work it out independently or self-reliant. In that regard, this learner depicts a high concentration level. The level of the concentration for a learner who is high achiever is above their peers. That makes them to retain the information which they are taught in the classroom. And in that regard, if they retain the information, then we have something that we call forward and backward load. This is a student that can apply both forward and backward, meaning if I ask the student a question that I had taught the previous lesson, he can do what we call connection of what is learned, which is taking us to the next characteristic of this learner. Therefore, suppose we are in a science class. This is a child that can bring two issues together. What brings about the effect of the other? So it can take variables and compare. What causes the effect on the other? What can be controlled to stop the effect on the other? So it means that there is some inferences, or rather some reflection that this child can have. So you see there's a difference between if we take a learner who is having what we call specific learning difficulties and put them with the learner who is a high achiever, you'll find out that these are two different cups of teas, because a specific learner or a learner with specific learning challenges will have also low concentration. But here we are talking of a learner who retains information, which can use the application, can connect this information. And in that sense, if we are, for example, I've given the science subject, it can cause or it can bring out the effect of a variable towards another, and therefore come to a conclusion or an inference that I'm observing this, which can translate to the effect of this. So it means that they enjoy problem solving. And therefore, from this cartoon that we have seen, there is some abstract kind of reasoning. Because this is a student who is thinking about issues of the mass, issues of engineering, issues of acceleration, bringing in Newton's theory of force and gravity. And here is a teacher who is busy asking about the 12 apples, how do we eat them? So this is an abstract kind of reasoning, cause and effect of issues. And then also, we also have think critically and creatively. This learner can engage in creative and critical thinking. Given a solution, we are going to see in the next slides that are coming, when we give examples of problems that are in specific subjects, these are learners that can critically think, reason out, problem solve, meaning they can use what you call the high thinking order taxonomy of the Bloom's taxonomy. So therefore, okay, let's see. If we now ask ourselves, fine, we have these learners in class, and I have one or two, because sometimes they're marginalized, they are very few in the classroom, but to identify them is also an issue. That's why we have to look at how best we come and identify these learners based on their characteristics first. If we have a learner who has high concentration, fine, problem-solving skills, and can connect issues or cause or bring cause and effect issues, or try to solve issues in terms of mathematical kind of problems and so forth abstractly, and think critically, then how best can we try to include them in the classroom? And that's why we have what we call inclusive assessment arrangement, or rather strategies, or higher differentiation techniques. So I've just picked some few to guide us in this session, but more session is going to be discussed as we meet during the Tuesday maybe collaborative meetings, or a session where we are going to create and further discuss this concept well. So the first area that I've come up with, if we need to actually accommodate these learners in the classroom, we have the Bloom's taxonomy, where we have higher order thinking questions, or rather the HOTS, where we bring them to the analysis, synthesis, and evaluation aspect. Now, the first example that I've picked, I've just randomly picked. I've taken a science subject at grade 6 on a unit of being a scientist in MYP. So being that we have this learner who is a high achiever, remember this is a learner that was asked, if we give you 12 apples and you take 2, how many will remain? But he's thinking differently. So we are putting this learner and asking this learner, why do you understand this in the MYP class? So how do we engage such a learner? First, we can have the learner exploring on the scientists. Who are the scientists that have been there and their intervention in as far as contributions are concerned. Then further, we come up to the discovery. This is the same learner that will pick on the discoveries. and research on the historical or histories of scientific development. So if the topic is this, let the learner have what we call an anchored activity, which will be our best strategy. Anchored activity, we mean that one activity follows the other. If the learner starts exploring who are the scientists that have been there and what have they discovered, fine. The further question will be, what are their contribution towards scientific discoveries? And further, how best can I research on maybe historical development in as far as different cultures are concerned? So you give a learner such kind of an exploring kind of question. This question is based on analysis because the learner has to analyze different contributions and further bring together the discoveries, synthesize, then further give an evaluation, a judgment. Fine, in as far as science is concerned and the research is concerned in terms of historical scientific development, but how best can we link them to different cultures? So here we are putting the learner to the higher order thinking level in as far as the Bloom's taxonomy is concerned. Are we together? Kapulo. Good. Fine. The second approach or example rather, I have a learner who is maybe a high achiever, get 11 or 12. Remember, we have stated in our first inclusive access or arrangement, or rather the approaches that we can accommodate this learner as the higher order thinking taxonomy. And the first example I've taken the science subject. Now I've just given a general example too, where we have, give the learner, you've been appointed to undertake a study on children living with special needs. Now, using appropriate illustrations, delineate or use, because we are using language also which is based on this learner. Just to take you further, or to take you back to the cartoon that I have shown there, that we have a teacher and this teacher is asking about the 12 apples. So we also need to modify the language that we use to these learners, because these learners are thinking abstract, they're thinking critically, they're thinking creatively, they can solve out problems. So we have to bring this learner to delineate, or rather give us approaches that are going to be used in this kind of a study. So the learner has to do what you call an analysis, which is the best procedure I'm going to use. Then try to bring together different, synthesize them, then give an evaluation again that I'm going to use this because I feel that this approach, it has A, B, C, D, or the advantages of using this I've identified, and I've sat down, I've looked at why this against the other. So the learner is trying to do an analysis, synthesizing, trying to bring issues together, further as an approach that is best for this kind of a scenario. So in grade 11 and 12, because actually they are almost approaching to go to the maybe university level and so forth, diploma and so forth, they can have that kind of reasoning. An example 3, we can have a statement, maybe in different units that we teach here, can create a statement, like for example, the way I've taken this, that according to Socrates, there is no learning without remembering. Then you tell the learner to critique, maybe look at the both sides of the issue. Maybe there is learning without remembering, or there is learning without, learning with no remembering. So the learner is trying to look at or focus on how best. So we are trying to see how best can we incorporate that learner who is thinking about the maths, thinking about engineers, thinking about the Newton's law of gravity, versus the teacher is asking about the 12 apples and the 2 which are remaining. So that is why we have these examples 2 and 3, to just justify why the Bloom's taxonomy, the higher order thinking, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation are very key for this learner. The second aspect, we can have what we call differentiated homework or assignments. That is to simulate or create a challenge in this learner. Because this learner, if you give homework, which is easy again, he will also start reasoning the way he reasons to the teacher when he reaches at home. So we have to give what you call independent study projects or activities that involve what you call jigsaw. That is, the teacher in a given topic of within a unit, let the learner do an independent study for class presentation. Take a topic, for example, we did in science, the previous example 1, or the previous approach 1, that we want to involve this learner in the higher order thinking. Now, in the differentiated kind of work, if the others are going to be differentiated in terms of, for example, importance of being a scientist. So the other learners can be told your work today maybe is to find maybe why do we need to. But the other learner, because you want to also incorporate his independence and see how best the approaches can be, you can tell this learner to move further and look at how best can the issue of being a scientist relate to the issues of other Asian or other cultures that we have identified in our first approach. So this is a learner who is differentiated based on the higher level thinking capacity. Example B, we can have identify a given rubric in an individual unit and let the student write an independent essay if it is language and literacy. Literature. Let the student identify, or you as a teacher, identify a given rubric and let the student also write an independent essay. The essay will involve so many aspects in terms of Bloom's taxonomy. We have to identify issues in terms of paragraphing, in terms of issues of the points, in coming together with these points to make a prose, in terms of leveling out, in terms of using all those aspects that are required in as far as the essay is concerned. So we can also have or place this learner in this aspect. So that is on the differentiated or assignment, which tomorrow we have a presentation, you will see the difference in this. Because tomorrow we are going to have a learner who is having a specific learning difficulty that we also have to differentiate work. So in this aspect here, we are differentiating a learner who is at a higher order thinking, that we have to also modify the language that we are going to use in as far as his or her homework or assignment are concerned, based on his level of thinking or his level of performance. If he's a learner who is getting grade 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, that's a learner who is also considered as a high achiever. Then the next will be group investigation, where this learner can take a role. Let the learner take the lead role. So if you have an investigation, for example, in science, let the learner take a lead role, because we have talked of one of the characteristics of these learners are they require or they love working independently. So we want to bring that collaborative learning in them. So how do you make that? How do you make them to share whatever they have with others? Bring the group activity, let them engage the others, but let them take the lead role so that they can do what you call presentation and further research on the area that you have given them. That is point 3. Then point 4, the anchored activity. Now, these are tasks which students automatically move from one, or as soon as they complete one level, the other one is waiting for it, for the student. So for instance, we have what you call textual analysis, maybe in grade 11 and 12, where we have the students being involved in knowledge, knowing, understanding, organization, and further development of an essay. So first, the student has to analyze. So I've given further example here that teacher picks a thematic area in a novel. For example, Things Fall Apart, and asks the student to examine the theme of morality. So the student has to have a knowledge first. What is morality? Do I understand? Now, how do I depict the theme in as far as the knowledge is concerned? So here we have what you call, the student have what you call an anchored activity. One after another, identify the theme. 2, understand it. 3, bring points that are going to be relevant to the theme of morality, and further develop the theme. Now, try to examine the theme in as far as the novel is concerned. That is, Things Fall Apart. That is number 4. And then number 5, we have what we call encourage them to take a lead role in organizing events in school, such as school events. Or for instance, we can have, let's take a unit of individual and societies, where we have a unit on population investigating, or the learner can be given population to investigate, or the population of a country based on the country's policies. So this is a learner that can be engaged also in investigating issues, because they can work independently. If they can bring even deduction in as far as what causes what. So they can also tell us, fine, the population of this country is like this as a result of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The inferences can be brought. So if a learner can think deductively, inductively, engage in critical thinking, or rather creative thinking, work independently, concentration is also as per the level of a higher order thinking, then we can also engage this learner in such kind of a question. Take the population based on that country's policies. How can you try to analyze maybe the demographics of the populations and so forth? So I've taken only the 5. We have so many which we are going to discuss in the subsequent sessions that we are going to be meeting, maybe in collaborative issues, maybe when we want to identify these learners as far as they are concerned, as far as their examination, classroom, as well as outside activities are concerned. For that reason, I have, for us to view these higher achievers well on a practical approach, we have an exam analysis which I want us to share together and try to identify from the exam analysis and from what we've just discussed, whom among the following learners can we classify as a learner who is a high achiever? So we have come on, I hope we have the MYP report analysis. Do you have the analysis with us? Now, if we can go to grade 9, because grade 10 are going to 11. But again, because we are just if we can go to grade, because we are for the purpose of learning this particular session, we can also discuss maybe because for the purpose of understanding the high achievers as well. So for grade 10, for instance, we can discuss it as we move down. So we have several learners, but let's look at the left column description. Students who attained a 7 in a subject. So we have term 1, 2, 3. Let's focus on term 3. So kindly identify a student who is repeatedly attaining 7 in different subjects.